What's going on, guys? It's your boy G Rocky here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over my full 2025 NBA standing prediction for the Eastern and Western Conference. And take everything with a grain of salt because those last probably like after the 10 seed, those last like five teams, they all kind of those are just the bottom feeders. They could really be subject to change. I feel like they aren't in stone as much as I'd say that 1 through 10 is pretty much exactly how I think it'll be. But I think there's a lot of room between like 10 to like 15. There could be a lot of change there, and I probably won't be, exactly the same. But yeah, first I'm gonna get into the Eastern Conference. So first I got the Cavs. I think they're probably the best regular season team in the East, and probably a top two or three regular season team in the NBA right now. Their offense just has such a good scalability. Like you can really do so much with that offense, and even their defense. Like they have a lot of these big versatile players. Obviously have Mobley and Allen are great defenders. Hunter's a great defender. Dean Wade. Like they got all these guys that can defend, and a lot of these guys that can shoot too. So they're a really, really good juggernaut, but I feel like in the playoffs they kind of get phased out with either just injuries or just, other teams that just play more coherent. I feel like they have a lot of talent, but I don't know if the talent really necessarily blends that well, and it just doesn't seem to work out in a playoff setting. Number two, I have the Knicks. I mean, I think the Knicks should be one, but honestly, I think the Knicks will go the farthest out of the East. I think that they should make the finals on paper, and I think that they will make the finals, but I think that the Cavs are just the better regular season team. They just seem to be more coherent, but it's really a toss-up between the Knicks and the Cavs. I see the Cavs probably winning again around a couple games over 60, and I think the Knicks should be at like 58 to 60 around there because it really is a wide open East, and none of these teams besides the Knicks and the Cavs even have a shot to really make the finals, to be honest. I think that it should definitely be one of those two teams. The other teams are just much weaker as you go down. Just way less talent, way less coherence, way less like I think they all have major issues that like hold them back from being in this, top two type conversation in the East. But the Knicks, all around great talent. Probably maybe the most talent in the Eastern Conference and one of the most talent in the NBA. I mean, if you just look up and down their roster, they have 9 or 10 guys that are serious NBA players. They really have depth now, and I think that was their biggest issue last year was just the depth. The depth was just really what was hurting them and the reason why that they couldn't get past the finals. And I think you're coming into this year with Cat. Hopefully Cat can stay healthier. He won't be nicked up with the knee, the finger, all these things. Hart was messed up with his knee as well. He had a ton of different nagging injuries. I mean, Brunson's ankle got hurt right before the playoffs, so he was already a little banged up, had not a great first couple playoff games. I mean, everyone on the team up and down was just nicked up. OG, always dealing with elbow and hamstring, like all types of different things. The whole team was nicked up. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this team can just go into their season and the playoffs hopefully fully healthy. No nicks and nagging injuries, and really just run it back pretty much. But with Gershon Yabusele and Jordan Clarkson adding to their team more firepower, more offense, more shooting, more creation, and yeah, the bench will be a lot better this year. So yeah, definitely the 2 seed. Magic, kind of, I just feel like they're a little bit better than the Hawks. Them and the Hawks are kind of interchangeable, but I think the Magic have a higher ceiling probably on defense. Hawks have a better ceiling on offense, but I really like the Magic. If Paulo can get more efficient on the jumpers and continue to be a downhill demon, I think that he can enter that conversation of maybe top 15, like maybe pushing top 10. I think he just has to bring it all together. I think this is a team fully healthy. You got Desmond Bain now. You got rid of Caldwell Pope, who couldn't shoot. You got rid of a couple of these other guys that aren't shooting the well, and you got a little bit more of a replenished, hopefully more cohesive, better shooting team. And I think that's all they really needed to just get over the hump. So that's why the Magic are 3. 4 is the Hawks. Really good offseason. Got Porzingis. You got Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So I think they'll be very versatile lineups. They'll be able to run a lot of different things like that. They were a solid team. A lot of injuries last year, so I think no injuries. And with the additions, I think that 4 seed seems pretty accurate for them in this weak East. I think they could definitely do it. Yeah, they'll definitely be better than probably all the teams under them. 5, I just have the Bucks out of respect because the Celtics, the Pacers, none of those teams will really be in it, to be honest, with just injuries and losses of players. So yeah, I think the Bucks. You got Giannis. You got Kuzma, and I guess you got Miles Turner. So I think that if Kuzma could be a little bit more efficient, not as much of a shot chuck, and just know his role, and along with the other guys, they got a lot of role players that if those role players can know their role, you got Gary Trent, Torian Prince, Kyle Kuzma, Miles Turner. If everyone, all these guys are just shooters around Giannis, and you can figure out a ball handler that can, facilitate. I think they could be a solid team. Maybe win 46 to 49 games, somewhere around that. I don't think they'll get 50, but if they can win 46 games, they'll probably be happy with that. 46, 48 games. 6 is the Pistons. Yeah, I think Pistons are a solid team. They did lose a couple players, but nothing major. I think that Ron Holland will take a step. I think Jaden Ivey will take a step, and he'll be healthy here too. And they put up a good fight in the playoffs, honestly, against the Knicks. But yeah, I think that they'll be a more recharged team, more retooled. Another year, everyone gets a year older, a year more mature. Another year of strength. And yeah, with development and everything like that, they should be a solid 6 seed. 7 is the Celtics. I mean, it's basically just Jaylen Brown, and even he got a procedure in the offseason. So it's really just Jaylen Brown and Derek White. A couple, Pritchard, I guess, is fine, but the rest around that is just kind of bums. So yeah, I think that out of respect, you got to give them the 7 seed, but they got a good coach, but they're really talent depleted right now. We'll see what the guys that they drafted, last year and this year do. We'll see Anthony Simons, maybe he does something, I don't know, but yeah, they're just not gonna be great. With Tatum down, probably he's missing the whole entire year. So, yep. They're the 7 seed. 8 seed is the Heat. I think the Heat will be good. I like what they're doing. Davion Mitchell. I think they had a good draft. So I mean, I think that they just got to keep retooling, keep building this roster up. Got maybe Andrew Wiggins get traded. You know what I mean? Maybe they could trade him. They could see what else they could do. I think that they just got to continue to get some more development. I think that they just got to empower Bam to be the best player he can be. Because if he is a 20-10 with great defense, you know what I mean, defensive player of the year type candidate, you got Hero and Yakachonis, just facilitating like crazy, getting their shot. You got some nice shooters and some good defense around them. Then yeah, I think this could be a solid 8 seed. Maybe be able to get out of the first round of the playoffs. But if not, then they're looking at 8 through 10 seed and not probably gonna just be a first round exit maybe. Or just maybe not make it out of the play-in. But I think you just got to, if they can fully optimize this team, they have some potential. 76ers, I just put them the 9 seed because you got to respect them, but they got, a lot of guys that just get hurt a lot of unhealthy players on that team. A lot of uncertainty if they'll re-sign Quentin Grimes, and, what's going to happen with their, backup power forward. Right now their depth is not great. We just got to see. They got a lot of guards with who are the, how the minutes got to get distributed, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, not too much to really be said. Just got to give them 9 out of respect. 10 is the Pacers, another out of respect. They lost Miles Turner. Halliburton's better be out the whole season. They got 2 centers coming off of ACL, or not ACL, Achilles. So we'll see what happens with them. I think out of respect, you got to give them a certain thing. We'll see what McConnell does. We'll see what, their guys they drafted do. But, yeah, just got another out of respect kind of thing. 11's the Bulls. Don't really got to talk too much about them. They're always, probably 9 to 12. They always stay in that middle range, not the worst, not not good. They just kind of mid team. Got a little bit better in the draft, I'd say. Got to see if they keep Josh Giddey, probably will. But yeah, just kind of commit to the tank. Probably trade a couple guys. Just commit to the tank, commit to this young core. Let them build up for 2-3 years, and then they could be like a really solid team, maybe like a Pistons, some type of 6 seed. Just build up that young core, maybe a Magic type of thing. Just got to build up the young core and just give it some time. Raptors 12. I think that they could be maybe 10 seed play-in type of thing. They got the talent, but they don't. None of the guys fit together. I think there's probably some trades coming, and I just think that they just got to figure out everything with their situation with their centers. They got to figure out a lot of stuff. I don't really know if they had the best draft. I think that they just gotta commit to something, commit to being bad, commit to being good, just go all in, don't go all in, whatever it is, but you can't just be in this in-between limbo type of thing. So yeah, that's why I think they're 12. 13 Hornets, I think they'll be better this year. I think hopefully the Melo's injuries, hopefully he doesn't get injuries, hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Brandon Miller too. I just hope everyone, could stay healthy on that team. If everyone stays healthy, then definitely be better. But yeah, 13 seed, not a great team. Wizards 14. So, yeah, they could maybe go as high as 12, but I don't see them any higher than that. Definitely, veterans presence will help them a little bit, but just not a great team. Just they need more progress. They need more progression. They need more development. Just a year away from being a year away. Honestly, the Nets, yeah, just disgraceful team. Honestly, I hate to hate on them, but they just really just are. I don't know what they're doing. Horrific draft and just overall just terrible team structure. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really know what they're doing. Let's move on to the West. The West, I got Thunder one. I mean, not really. Doesn't really need to be discussed. Just most talent, definitely by far. Deepest team. They were the 1 seed last year. They got the MVP. They got a really well-rounded, well-oiled machine. I think that I don't see them changing that any different. Rockets, very number two, very very interesting team. They traded for KD. They re-signed a lot of guys and signed a bunch of guys. Just immaculate depth. Really like a mini version of the Thunder, I'd say, because they just got immaculate depth, great defense, and we'll see how good their offense will be. Hopefully, KD can maintain this level that he's at, and just continue to do what he does best. Just continue to just be an offensive threat. Hopefully his defense doesn't take a drop off, and yeah, I mean they could really have a solid offense now that they got rid of a couple guys that just weren't really contributing to it too much. So yeah, I could see them really realistically being a really good 2 seed, and they just got a lot of development going on, and yeah, they'll be a really good team. Nuggets replenished, got rid of MPJ, got Cam Johnson, who will fit a lot better, got a lot of guys off the bench that are going to really help them out, and obviously Jokic, probably the best player in the league right now, probably will be for years to come, and I think the defense will probably be better. I mean, Cam Johnson really just better than Michael Porter Jr. in every way. Got some more shooting around Jokic. So, yeah, I think that they won't be talent deprived anymore. And, yeah, they'll really, really, really good team hopefully next year. Timberwolves, pretty similar team, I'd say. Ant will be carrying them. Lost to Key Alexander Walker, but I think that, they got Dillingham will take a step up. A couple of these other guys will take a step up. And, yeah, I mean, overall, just like a great team. Yeah, the Timberwolves, I mean, they just got to fully optimize their team. I think that they have some solid depth. I think if DiVincenzo could be better and more like how he was on the Knicks, and I think you get another leap from Dillingham, and if you can just figure out a way to empower everybody offensively and defensively, because I feel like their team they're always going to be a really good defense, I feel like, but I just got to see how good of an offense that they can be. Because, Ant is taking a lot of threes, making a lot of them too. But I feel like if he can become like a little bit better of a passer, distribute it, and hopefully Gobert can not just be a complete negative on offense. Like every time you give him the ball, he doesn't just instantly like drop it or just miss easy shots. So I think Randall too can be a big factor there. I mean, they have a pretty good starting lineup, I think. McDaniels and Randall and Edwards, and we'll see about Conley if Conley takes a step back, and then maybe Dante or Dillingham, can take that step up and take the mantle there. But yeah, I think that they have a good team and they're intriguing. We just got to see really what they can do. 5, I got the Clippers. I think the Clippers are a really, really good team. They got a lot of good veterans there. I think they've drafted decent the last couple years. I think that they got the good setup of like everyone's big on their team. Everyone can really switch, play multiple different positions. I think they got the shooting. Everyone can kind of shoot on that team. I think we got to see what their bench looks like, if their bench can be solid and strong. But yeah, I think if they maybe sign another guy or two, or just depending on the guys they drafted this year or next year, if they could take some jumps, get some development, and if there was not big regression from Harden and Kawhi, I think that they could be a solid 5 seed. I think them and the Lakers and really the Spurs too, are kind of, and the Warriors, like those are all pretty much sort of change, I feel like. But I'm pretty confident that the Clippers will be better than the Lakers, just because the Lakers, I still don't really trust the centers. They're kind of, Hayes and LaRavia are unproven, and Ayton, kind of got let go. They didn't really want him on their team anymore. He's a good player, but just the attitude problems and everything that comes with Ayton being on your team is a little bit like a cancerous environment. But I think the Lakers will be a really good team. That's why I think they'll be the 6th seed, because it's just a stacked West. I mean, they could definitely be a lot higher in the East, but it's the West, so they'll probably be the 6th seed. Luka, Luka hopefully can play his best ball. You know, he's in his prime now. He's not some young, like, not the young buck or whatever. Like, he's in his prime, so hopefully he can optimize everybody around him, be like that great facilitator. See what Austin Reeves, if he can continue to develop. Is LeBron going to take a big step back? We'll see. But I think with the changes they made, maybe they still got one or two more coming. I think they just gotta figure out a couple things, and I think they could be a really solid 6th seed. 7, I got the Spurs. I mean, just amazing depth. Another step from Wemby, another step from probably Vassell, another step from Castle. Just a bunch of development hopefully coming this year, and I think that they'll be a 7th seed. I mean, they really could even be higher. Just amazing depth. Everyone is just developing at the same time, and probably the best young core in the league. I'll make a future video on best young cores, and you'll see where they fall there. But 8 is the Warriors. I mean, really, really old, but I'd say that, you still got Pods, you got a Curry, Heel, you got a bunch of shooting around them. I think that if you can, just optimize all the shooters and get someone to really facilitate, like when they had Chris Paul, if they can get maybe like a backup point guard or somebody like that who could facilitate, or if Curry, can have like that second half of the season push with Jimmy Butler and everything, and Draymond can hit maybe 35% of his threes. Yeah, I mean they could definitely be a scary team, but I have them as the 8 seed right now. 9 is the Mavericks. I mean, when Kyrie comes back, they'd probably be higher, but for now, since he's going to miss most of the year, I just got them at the 9 seed, but immaculate depth as well, very similar to the Spurs. I mean, Cooper Flag should be really, really good, and you got AD, obviously. You got Gafford. I mean, just outstanding front court. I mean, the guards, you'll see what they can do, but I think D'Lo for the beginning of the season should be, fine, and we'll see what their rookies can do and everything. So, yeah, I mean, I think they had a, good draft. You got Cooper Flag, obviously, so yeah, we'll see what they can do, but yeah, really, really good team. Grizzlies, out of respect, I think they're here. I think they got a really good package for Desmond Bane. I think that they'll definitely be missing him a little bit, but maybe we'll just see more from some of the other guys on their team, maybe some of the guys that they drafted, or some of their second-year players. We'll see what they got. They also lost LaRavia, so we'll see what their center situation's looking like. But I think that overall, they're a really, really good team. I think that they got worse definitely with Desmond Bane. That's why I have them at the 10 seed, but I think we'll see what Morant can do, if he can stay healthy, if he can stay out of trouble. I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. is obviously always there. So, yeah, I mean, they have a certain floor, I think. They just got to raise their ceiling. 11 is the Kings, kind of out of respect. I mean, you do have Sabonis, you do have Levine, you do have DeRozan. So, out of respect, you got to have a certain ceiling. And I think that, Mitchell's going to play more now. And I think that, or I mean, not Mitchell, I mean Ellis. Keon Ellis is going to play a lot more now with the new coach and everything. And I think that if they can get a really good rotation, continue to draft well, they could be pretty good in a couple years. Maybe just got to do a couple trades and stuff. But yeah, I think that they should get some development. They should probably be around this area. Same with the Suns. I mean, Suns, you got that top end talent, but you just got to fill out the depth. Figure out everything around them. We'll see what Jalen Green does. I mean, Dylan Brooks hopefully should be really good. I mean, him and Dunn should be crazy. Just locking everybody up. So you got Malak too. I mean, yeah, the defense could be really, really good. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what their identity is. I'm not projecting anything too high. Did lose KD, didn't get a lot of return back. So we'll see. Teams any of them could really switch. I got the Trailblazers at 13. I mean, they're the best of the bottom feeder teams here by far. Probably take them way over the Pelicans and the Jazz. I mean, the Pelicans got a lot of health issues. They do have a lot of talent too, but I really like the Blazers. I think Drew Holiday will help them a lot. And I think we should see a lot of leaps from the other guards on the team, like Scoot and those kind of guys. And I think Avdia, depending on if he's still got another jump in him. So they could be a solid team, to be honest. I think the West is just stacked, and I can't say that they're better than anybody, but I could see them going as high as 11, where the Kings are right now. But yeah, I think just got to be optimized around them, and yeah, they should be a really solid team, though. I think that they'll be a solid team. Won't be like an easy team to beat, but definitely not gonna be one of the best teams or anything like that. And then 14, I got the Pelicans. I mean, another one of these teams on paper, they look really, really good, but they got DeJounte Murray coming back from an injury. They did draft Derek Queen, so I like that, but Zion just struggles with his health, and DeJounte Murray's always getting hurt and stuff like that. Don't really got a lot of shooting on the team either with Derek in their front court. They don't got a lot of shooting. So, yeah, I think overall the team doesn't have a ton of shooting, but yeah, I think that they could figure it out. They just gotta stay healthy. And then 15's the Jazz. I mean, I think that they had a all right draft, and last year, I think Cody Williams really hurt them bad in that draft because he didn't really do much. But they got off some guys, so it was really optimizing the young guys like Keontae George and Sensabaugh and Hendricks and those kind of guys, Collier. So it was like out with the old and with the new, and then whoever they drafted this draft. So I think that the young guys should be. Oh yeah, they got Ace Bailey in this draft, so that should definitely help them out a lot. Um, yeah. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with them. I think that they're definitely getting one of the better young cores, and we just got to see more from them. Like they're unproven, but in a couple years they could be a solid team. They just need a couple years or a year away from being a year away. But yeah, that's about all I got for y'all today. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, it's been real with y'all. See y'all in the next one.